Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the June meeting of the Philadelphia Land Bank Board. We will start with a statement from our attorney about holding virtual meetings.
Good morning, everyone. Today's board meeting is being held by an authorized communication device because of the continued closure of land bank offices to the public due to public health concerns. This meeting is being recorded. Questions and comments may be made using the Q&A or raised hand button at the bottom of the screen. If you are calling in and not using the Zoom webinar link, you may ask questions or make comments by pressing *9 on your phone, or again, using the raised hand function at the bottom of your screen. Please do not use the chat function. If you have any issues submitting questions or comments, please send an email to andrea.saw@phdc.phila.gov, and I will put that in the chat for everyone to read. Please note all questions and comments received by email prior to this meeting or through the Q&A section will be included in the minutes. Also, prior to today's public session, the board held an executive session at which they reviewed the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. And now roll call.
Okay, Ann Fadulin.
Here.
Let's see, Rick Sauer,
Here.
Majida Rashid,
Present.
Michael Kuntz,
Present.
Michael Johns,
Here.
Andrew Goodman,
Here.
Alexander Balloon.
Here.
Maria Gonzalez indicated she was not attending today, so I'm going to mark her absent. Rich DeMarco, also absent. Rebecca Lopez Chris, also absent. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we have a quorum and can proceed.
Right. Thank you. Next, we'll go to the minutes. Hopefully, the board has had a chance to review the minutes from the May Land Bank Board meeting. If there are no questions or comments on those, I will entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and properly seconded to approve the minutes from the May Land Bank Board meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, minutes approved, and now we go into the executive director's report.
Morning, everyone. I don't have anything to report new from last month.
All right, and that brings us to the administrative section of the agenda. Just to remind folks, these are dispositions that have already been approved, but are coming back because they have some changes. We'll start with price adjustment items.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everybody. First item under administrative items, today we're asking the board to approve an amendment to resolution number 2022-8. Pursuant to that resolution that was adopted last April, in 2022, actually, Affordable Alliance Company LLC was approved for the development of 17 single-family units in Grays Ferry. All of those to be sold for a maximum sales price of $230,000 to purchasers at or below 80% of AMI. The properties were conveyed to the developer in May of 2023. The developer has now requested a price adjustment to revise the maximum sales price for all of those units from $230,000 to $250,000. This is particularly due to increased development costs. The AMI levels for all of those units will remain at 80% of AMI due to the updated 2023 limits, and a declaration of restrictive covenants will be placed on all the properties as well. That restrictive covenant will be in place for 15 years after the initial home buyer purchase, and all of the purchasers of the affordable homes in this project will be required to be income certified. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. Any questions or comments on this item from the board? Seeing none, are there any members of the public that wish to comment on this item? All right, seeing no hands raised, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly seconded to approve the amendment to resolution number 2022-8. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, and that brings us to item 4.1B.
Thanks again. Item 4.1B, today we're asking the board to approve an amendment to resolution number 2022-11. Pursuant to that resolution, which was adopted by the Land Bank on May 10th of 2022, Savetta Property Group was approved for the development of 25 single-family units, 3-bedroom, 1.5-bathroom units to be sold at $230,000 as a max price to purchasers at and below 80% of AMI. Properties were conveyed to the developer in 2022, November of 2022. After subsequent discussions with the council district member about the concerns of constituents in the area, those concerns were around the units and the fact that they did not have basements. The developer decided to revise plans for 17 of the units to include a finished basement and 2 full bathrooms to meet those constituent requests. This resulted in additional development costs, and the developer has subsequently requested a price adjustment to revise the maximum sales price for those 17 units from $230,000 to $250,000 to cover those additional costs. So the AMI for 17 of those units will remain at 80% across the board like the rest of the project due to the updated 2023 AMI limits. The revised sale price again will only apply to 17 of the properties, and I'll list those units by address. There'll be 1308 South Corley Street, 1310 South Corley, 1315, 1320, 1322, and 1326 South Corley Street. 1307 South Stanley Street, which will be subdivided out of the larger Wharton parcel. 3000 Titan Street, 3010 Titan Street, 3018 Titan, 3036, 3046, and 3050 Titan. 3018 Wharton Street, 3020 Wharton Street, 1334 South 30th, and 1329 South 31st Street. As with all the units in this particular development, the restrictive covenant will remain on this particular set of properties as well for a 15-year term after the initial home buyer purchase, and the purchasers of all the affordable homes will be required to be income certified as well.
Thank you, Jesse. Any questions or comments on this item from the board? Seeing none, do we have any members of the public that wish to comment on this item? Seeing no hands raised, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly seconded to amend resolution number 2022-11. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries. All right, that brings us to item 4.2, which is amendment about the development entity name.
So item 4.2 is the last item on the administrative matters. Today, by way of resolution number 2023-20, adopted May 9th last month of 2023, the board approved the conveyance of 372 and 702 Cantrell Street, 613, 625, and 723 Mercy Street, 737 Tree Street, 535, 537, 602 Winton Street, all those properties to BVG Property Group, LLC, specifically for the development of a mixed income single-family home ownership deal. The application was unsolicited and evaluated pursuant to the disposition policy, and it qualified for a reduced purchase price. Today, the board's asked to approve the substitution of the applicant name from BVG Property Group as the approved developer for the premises. The entity substitution requested to correct the name is listed as now BVGS as in South, Philadelphia BVGS Philadelphia AH LLC, excuse me. They requested to replace the entity here. Both of these LLCs are owned and controlled by the same members of BVG Property Group. Again, the applicant BVGS Philadelphia AH LLC is a subsidiary of the company of BVG Property Group, and all of the terms of resolution number 2023-20, which was adopted last month, will remain in full force in effect. Excuse me.
Thank you, Jesse. And please note for the record that board member Rich DeMarco is now present. Are there any comments or questions on this item from the board? Seeing none, do we have any members of the public that wish to speak to this item? Seeing no hands raised, can I get a motion from the board?
I move that we approve the name change.
Second.
A motion has been made and properly seconded to approve the amendment to resolution number 2023-20. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, and that brings us to section 5 on our agenda, property dispositions, and we'll start with a development assemblage.
Thanks again. Today's first item is a development assemblage opportunity. Today, we're asking the board to authorize the disposition of 3358 Kensington Avenue in Kensington to develop a courtyard. That courtyard will be developed as a secured street entry and trash storage for an adjacent rehab going on at 3360, permitted at 3360 Kensington Avenue. The applicant here owns the property next door and has received permits for its development into a mixed-use residential project with ground floor retail and affordable housing up top. The application for this courtyard development was unsolicited and evaluated pursuant to the disposition policy and qualifies for a development opportunity for an assemblage. The developer will purchase this property for fair market value, $30,000 to develop this particular courtyard. Evidence of project financing for the courtyard has been provided. The applicant remains in good standing and compliant with the city of Philadelphia. It will not be subject to an economic opportunity plan due to the nature of the development, and the project will be subject to irrevocable power of attorney and right of re-entry reverter as well. And I think I might have glanced over the actual applicant name, but it is the 3360 to 70 Kensington Partners LLC. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. Any questions or comments from the board on this item? Seeing none, are there any members of the public that wish to comment on this item? All right, seeing no hands raised, can I get a motion from the board?
I move that we approve the disposition.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly seconded to approve the disposition of 3358 Kensington Avenue. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to item 5.2, which is the development of affordable housing that came through a request for proposal.
Thanks again. Item 5.2, we are asking the board to authorize the disposition of properties along the 3100 block of Clifford Street in the city Strawberry Mansion area to BMK Property Group for the development of affordable homeownership, particularly in the 5th district. The proposal includes 12 single-family affordable homeownership units, all of which are 2 stories with unfinished basements, roughly about 1,000 square feet each, containing 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and sold to households with incomes at or below 100% of AMI. The maximum sales price for this particular opportunity will be $280,000 for each one of these units. Applications were solicited via request for proposals process for the properties, and the applicant was the sole qualified bidder for the properties. Developer will be purchasing these properties for $12,000. This bid price. Properties include 3101, 3113, 3117, 3118, 3123 to 29, 3126, and 3130 to 34 Clifford Street. With the response to the RFP, evidence of project financing was provided. The applicant is in good standing and compliance with the city of Philadelphia. Project will be subject to an economic opportunity plan, and it will be subject to irrevocable power of attorney and right of re-entry. Sale of all units will include the declaration of restrictive covenants, and the units will be subject to use restrictions and income verification. The declaration period will be for 15 years, and these units are turnkey program eligible.
Thank you, Jesse. Any questions or comments from the board on this item?
Yeah, just quick clarification, Jesse, you said sole qualified bidder, not most qualified bidder. So this
Sole
was
qualified
the
bidder.
only eligible response to the RFP.
That is correct.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Oh, Andrea, go ahead. I'm sorry. And I keep forgetting, have we received any comments from anybody on any items on the agenda?
We have not, but I just thought I'd for the record say that there were.
Thank you. I
not
totally, yeah. Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the board? All right, seeing none, do we have any members of the public that wish to comment on this item? Seeing no hands raised, can I get a motion from the board?
I move that we approve the disposition.
Second.
Motion has been made and properly seconded to approve the disposition of several properties on the 3100 block of Clifford Street. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And that brings us to item 5.3, which is a side yard disposition.
Thank you. And this request will only pertain to just one. There was another item tabled, so we're only requesting just one. Today, we're asking the board to authorize the disposition of 3000 Ruth Street as a side yard to Susan Skoll in the 7th District. Susan Skoll is compliant and in good standing with the city of Philadelphia. Her project will not be subject to an economic opportunity plan, but it will be subject to a 30-year mortgage and use restrictions as a side yard.
Thank you, Jesse. Andrea, did we receive any comments from the public on this item prior to the meeting?
We did not.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from the board on this item? Seeing none, it appears we do have one hand raised from the public. Can we unmute Robin Aluko? And I apologize if I have not pronounced your name correctly.
You did very well, thank you. I apologize for the previous thing that you talked about in District 5. I was trying to indicate that I had a concern
Sure.
about it.
Go ahead.
For those properties, 12 single-family homes with a top sales price of $280,000.
Sure, go ahead. You can give your
I'd
comments.
like to put it on the record that $280,000 is far outside of the reach of any person who might be living in this district. The income, I don't know exactly what census tract that's in because I'm actually on this call in my car, but I'm concerned that the amount of the house, the property rather, the sales price is not affordable to people who might be trying to move there. The house that I live in Strawberry Mansion, is a house that I paid $85,000 for in 2008. Today, the house is worth about $174,000. If I had to buy this house today with today's dollars, I wouldn't be able to afford it. And so I'd like to ask, please, that this particular thing be revisited with paying attention rather to the sales price. I think it's too much for this area. I heard you say maximum, but I'm sure that if the house goes up for sale, they're going to ask for the maximum 280, which is going to put a lot of people out. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, we appreciate those comments. And we definitely take those under consideration, which is, why the city offers both a settlement assistance and a buy down program to get those units to be more affordable. But it's a constant battle between what it costs to construct and then what people afford. So we really appreciate those comments and having you raise your. Thank you.
Okay, and just one, may I, if you don't mind my adding, as far as the properties are concerned, I heard you say single family. Is there a way to make them something different? Maybe like condos, where one floor could be one price, the other floor could be another price, and still be affordable. 1,000 square feet to me for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house is too small. The rooms wouldn't be usable. The bathrooms wouldn't be usable in the sense that it's comfortable. I don't know how else to explain it. The house that I live in is 1,600 square feet, and it's a big house for 3 people. It was great for us to live in this house. 1,000 square feet really, to me, is about an apartment size. And so since the house is already so small, why not just make them apartments or make them a condo? That's just the question that I'm asking. That's all. I appreciate your listening. Thank you. I hope everyone has a
Sure.
great.
No, we appreciate the comments and all things that we consider. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. All right, thanks. All right, can I get a motion from the board on this side yard disposition?
Motion approved.
Second.
Second.
All right, motion has been made and properly seconded to dispose of 3000 Ruth Street for a side yard. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, that concludes our regular agenda. Do we have anybody that wishes to approach the board about other business? All right, I don't see any hands raised, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All right, motion has been made and properly seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries and we'll see you back here in July. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.